3 hours left. Archangel Michael says I order you to open this right now. The angels are waiting for your response to activate the blessing. 3 hours. That's all that stands between you and a divine shift unlike anything you've ever seen. Heaven hath been watching, waiting, holding back the tides of consequence and blessing. But now the clock has struck a sacred hour. This isn't a random message. This is a divine dispatch from the heavenly command, and Archangel Michael himself is sounding the trumpet. You've been feeling it, haven't you? The stirring, the prayer, the knowing that something is building in the unseen. This moment was preordained before you were even born. That today, at this very time, you would come across this sacred message. There are no coincidences in the spiritual realm, only divine arrangements. And today, the arrangement is that Archangel Michael, the warrior of God, has been given permission to speak directly to you. This message is not symbolic. It is literal, urgent, and spiritually alive. Heaven has issued a countdown, and you are at the center of it. There are angels right now, surrounding you, waiting. Not idle, not passive. They are warriors. They are ready. But the instruction from heaven is clear. They are not to move until your spirit responds. They will not activate the full release until your yes echoes in the spirit. What you choose in the next 3 hours could either invite divine protection and breakthrough, or leave you spiritually exposed. The realm of heaven is requesting a response from you now. You may be wondering, why now? Why you? The answer is more personal than you realize. Because your name has been spoken in the courts of heaven. Your assignment is under review. Your blessings have reached the gates of manifestation, and heaven has paused them, not because you are being denied, but because the angels require your agreement. This message is your summons, your spiritual summons. Michael's voice is cutting through all distractions, commanding your focus now. In the last season, you were delayed, distracted, or discouraged. Heaven noticed. You cried out, asked why doors were not opening. But in the spirit realm, the answer has always been, they have not responded yet. But now the hour is different. And now, your response is needed. The angels are pressing close. Their wings are stirred. The scrolls are opening. The moment has been triggered. And you are holding the key, your surrender, your prayer, your declaration. This is not for everyone. This is not a general word. This is precise, prophetic, and piercing. Michael did not descend for multitudes today. He came for you. And as this message reaches your spirit, you will feel the holy fire confirming it. Time is counting down. 3 hours. Heaven is waiting. Michael is commanding. The angels are ready. And you must decide if you are going to respond before the clock hits 0. Type I am anointed to get blessing 6521. Right now, there is a heavenly dispatch circling your life, assigned, positioned, and waiting to be activated. This is not poetic. This is prophetic. From the moment you were born, heaven marked your spirit with divine coordinates. Those coordinates are not tied to your location, but to your obedience, your readiness, your alignment. And in this very hour, the angelic hosts aligned with your destiny have reached a moment of decision. They are not standing idle because they are unsure. They are still because they have been ordered to wait for your move. Archangel Michael does not descend without urgency. His presence marks warfare, breakthrough, spiritual battle, and divine reordering. He is the general of heaven's armies, and he only speaks when the timelines of eternity collide with the urgency of the now. So if your hearing is called right now, it's because your name has reached the divine agenda. The angels around you are not theoretical, they are literal, assigned, specific. They carry scrolls, they carry keys, they carry shields and swords, but they cannot act unless you respond in spirit and truth. You may think you've missed too much time, that your past disobedience or spiritual silence has disqualified you. But Michael says, the angels have not given up on you. They have not left you. They are waiting, but they are still near. This proximity is important, because there is still time, 3 hours left, to speak your yes, to align your words and your heart with the urgency of this hour. The blessings being carried on the wings of angels are not future promises. They are current provisions being held at the threshold of your life. Type I'm rising to get the blessing 7542. Have you noticed the repeated patterns? The sudden interruptions to your plans? The emotional turbulence that comes out of nowhere? These are not random attacks. These are indicators of unactivated blessings sitting too long in the heavenly realm. When angels are assigned to move and are not released by your agreement, the spiritual tension grows. You feel delays in relationships. You encounter roadblocks in your finances. You battle confusion in your mind. It's not because God is withholding. It's because the blessing has not been activated. And that activation requires your attention now. The angels assigned to you are messengers, protectors, and deliverers. Some of them carry healing. Some of them carry financial instructions. Others carry relational blueprints, connections that are supposed to align you with destiny partners, mentors, and divine reconciliations. And yet, they wait. Not because they are unwilling, but because spiritual laws require agreement. You must say yes, not just with your mouth, but with your posture, your actions, your repentance, your urgency. Heaven does not activate by accident. It activates through surrender. Type I am chosen to get blessing 8420. The 3 hours you have been given are not casual, they are divine mercy. Michael was sent to remind you of the time sensitivity because the angels will not wait indefinitely. If you ignore this message, the delay could stretch into months, even years. Not because God is punishing you, but because the window of activation will close. And once it closes, the spiritual environment shifts. What is accessible now with ease will later require warfare. What is available now with faith will later demand tears. That's why Michael is begging you to act now. There is a specific angel waiting to be released to your household. This angel carries breakthrough energy for your family. You may have sensed a generational heaviness, a repeating pattern of conflict, division, or stagnation. That is not just coincidence. It's a sign of an unbroken curse that this angel is assigned to confront. But angels do not move where they are not welcomed. And your spiritual response is the access point. Say yes. Open your heart. Welcome the angelic movement into your home. Every delay you've been experiencing, every emotional exhaustion, every financial blockage, they are all tied to angelic timing. Not because you are cursed, but because something divine is overdue. The heavens are not ignoring you. The angels are watching, ready to descend in full power. But the response they are waiting for must be real. Heaven wants to see you honor this moment, not out of fear, but out of holy reverence, out of awareness that you are not alone. You have always been divinely surrounded. Michael is not here for small matters. He does not enter into ordinary battles. His appearance means a line hath been drawn, and your decision is the determining factor. Will you rise into alignment and activate what has been waiting? Or will you walk away and delay the miracle again? The angels are waiting, but they are not waiting forever. And in just a few short hours, the spiritual atmosphere around your life will shift. For better, or for silence. You decide. Type I am anointed to get blessing 9031. Here is a blessing with your name written in the spirit realm. It's not imaginary. It's not wishful thinking. It's been recorded in the book of life and sealed by angelic hands. But hear this. The activation code is not buried in mystery. It's waiting on your voice. What you speak in the next few hours, and how you respond, will determine whether that blessing remains locked in waiting or is loosed into your life like a river that can no longer be dammed. This isn't just spiritual poetry. This is an urgent, divine mechanism, and Archangel Michael is here to reveal it. Heaven's blessings do not fall at random. They are assigned, prepared, and dispatched at specific Kairos moments, divine appointments in time. You've now entered such a moment. This 3-hour window is not symbolic, it's sacred. The spirit realm has opened, and your words, your agreement, your confession, carry the power to either unlock or delay what has already been assigned to you. There is money marked for your hands, healing anointed for your body, reconciliation waiting in your family, strategies for elevation, protection from betrayal, angelic guidance for decisions. Everything is prepared, but it must be received. Type I am rising to get the blessing 7624. Let's be clear. God is not playing games with your future, but He does expect alignment. Heaven is structured. There are divine protocols in place. The angels are not confused. They are not floating in indecision. They are waiting for your voice. Do you understand the power of your agreement? The moment you say, I accept the divine assignment. The moment you type, I receive it. The moment you yield in prayer, you grant heaven access to move fully in your direction. It's your yes that shifts everything. And heaven is standing still, waiting on it right now. Many people hear messages like this and scroll away. They delay. They say later, tomorrow, when I feel ready. But this message did not find you randomly. It found you because the spiritual conditions of your life reached a moment of divine review. Heaven saw your struggle. God witnessed your tears. The angels have watched you fight silent battles, and now they've been given permission to intervene. But you must authorize the blessing. Your words create legal spiritual access. And Michael is declaring, this is the final call for this specific blessing. Type I'm chosen to get blessing 8342. You have authority, not just to resist darkness, but to open the gates of heaven over your life. But authority is dormant when it is not exercised. And many are suffering under closed gates, not because God is far, but because they've never used their divine voice to activate what's already theirs. The angels assigned to your journey are holding scrolls, documents of divine instructions, but they are still sealed. Your yes breaks the seal. Your alignment activates the movement, and your delay creates stagnation in the spirit realm. Even now, some of you are feeling a burning in your chest or a stirring in your gut. That is not emotion. It is a spiritual witness. Michael is bearing witness in your body that this is real, that this is appointed, that you were meant to hear this right now. But heaven cannot force you to respond. The angels cannot push open doors you are unwilling to walk through. God has already given you access, but He's watching to see if you'll unlock it with your obedience. Will you rise into it, or will you retreat? There's a reason why this message is coming with such divine fire. It's because what's coming to you isn't small. This is not a leftover blessing. This is a stored-up overflow, a compounded promise, an inheritance your ancestors prayed for, but you are called to unlock. The delay wasn't God's rejection. It was preparation. And now, everything in the heavens is aligned, but it hinges on your voice. Speak. Declare. Type the words of agreement. This is not about superstition. This is about obedience. What you do right now echoes into eternity. You are not being begged. You are being invited. That is a sign of your spiritual rank. Heaven does not beg low-ranking souls. It calls, it appoints, and it waits on kings and queens in the spirit. That's you. Michael isn't speaking to the crowd. He's speaking to you. And you know it. Because the moment you started reading, your spirit leaned in. Now you must go further. Speak. Agree. Act. The angels are ready. But heaven is waiting on you. If this word has touched your spirit and stirred a fresh sense of boldness within, we invite you to respond with a super thanks of $20. Your support allows us to continue offering prophetic insight, comfort, and strength to those navigating the journey from betrayal to breakthrough. You can also give through PayPal by clicking the Support Here link in the video description. Every gift, no matter the size, helps us reach more hearts with messages of hope, truth, and encouragement. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you stay connected to spirit-led direction, timely revelation, and words of life designed to uplift you in every season. Type I receive it to get blessing 6678. Everything you faced, the disappointments, the delays, the detours, were not meant to break you, but to prepare you for this very hour. You may have been wondering why certain prayers felt unanswered, why doors closed even when you believed. What you didn't see was that the heavens were not denying you. They were waiting for you to align with the exact moment when your spirit would be matured, awakened, and ready to respond. And now, that moment is here. What once felt like silence was actually the holding pattern of angels protecting your destiny's proper timing. Archangel Michael hath been watching, not from a distance but from proximity. His assignment in your life has been active in ways you couldn't perceive. He has fought battles in dimensions you never saw. He has intercepted attacks, deflected dark intentions, and cut down spiritual opposition that had your name on it. And yet, through all of that, the most critical moment has only now arrived. This is not about what has already passed. This is about the final hours left before a door either opens or remains sealed. You have 3 hours. Not to stress, but to say yes. You may ask, why now? Because what hath been held up is now fully prepared. The blessing that was delayed has now matured in the heavenly vaults. It was not yet ready before, but now it is perfect. Financial provision, family breakthrough, emotional healing, unexpected restoration, a new spiritual mantle. You are about to see favor you didn't earn but were predestined to receive. But don't make the mistake of assuming it will happen automatically. Heaven is still governed by response. You must speak. You must declare. You must step into the alignment of activation. Type I am rising to get the blessing 7284. The reason your last season felt like chaos wasn't because you were off track. It was because you were nearing activation. Before every great release, there is always confusion. The enemy senses what's coming, and he rushes to send distraction. Some of you were nearly overtaken by anxiety, disconnection, and despair. But you didn't give up. And now, The heavens have deemed your name worthy of a divine command. Michael's order is not casual, it's strategic. Because there is blessing held in suspense that only your spiritual yes can release into time. If you had received the blessing too early, you would have mishandled it. That's why some doors didn't open before. It wasn't punishment, it was divine preservation. The angels knew what was coming and protected you from receiving too much before your character could carry it. But now you are different. You are more aware. You are more spiritually alert. You can feel the urgency in your soul. You know this isn't just another message. This is a divine confrontation with your future. And you only have hours left to say, I receive it. Type I'm chosen to get blessing 8199. This exact hour hath been mentioned in angelic meetings. Your name has been spoken, not in judgment but in celebration. The hosts of heaven have rejoiced that you are near the edge of your breakthrough. But just as angels await permission to descend with your release, there are dark forces nearby that also await your silence. Because if you don't respond, the enemy gains access to delay again. That's why this message was issued by Michael. The time is too sensitive. The blessing too potent. You must not miss the hour of your divine appointment. What you do in these final hours will echo into every area of your life. This is not just about one answered prayer. This is about a spiritual chain reaction. When this particular blessing is activated, it will affect things you forgot you even prayed for. Relationships will be redirected. Curses will be broken. Financial chains will snap. Clarity will come. Heaven is not just trying to give you one miracle. It is trying to reposition your entire trajectory. But it will only happen if you move now, before the clock stops ticking. If you knew what was sitting on the other side of your obedience, you wouldn't hesitate. There are certain blessings that only show up when obedience meets timing. That's what this is. This isn't about earning, it's about aligning. Your obedience is the ignition. Your surrender is the switch. And the angels are watching you even now, hovering, ready to descend with keys, scrolls, and shields. The last delays are breaking. The atmosphere is shifting. This is the hour. This is the signal. And you are the one it's all waiting on. Type I receive it to get blessing 6010. You ever wonder why the warfare over your life has been so intense lately? Why you've been experiencing exhaustion, conflict, sudden fear, confusion, and even strange dreams or heavy feelings without a cause? It's not random. It's not psychological. It's spiritual. Because the enemy knows what's about to be released over you, and he's trying everything in his power to make sure you miss this moment. But here's the good news. The warfare is proof. Proof that the blessing is close. Proof that heaven is moving. Proof that angels are ready. And proof that you're about to cross into a divine release. The devil never fights what isn't a threat. He doesn't waste energy on empty vessels or passive souls. His attacks are precision-targeted, and if you felt overwhelmed recently, it's because he sees what's forming around you in the spirit. He sees angels with scrolls in hand. He sees the divine seals being warmed to open. He hears the command issued by Archangel Michael echoing across dimensions. And his only strategy left is to distract you, discourage you, or cause you to delay long enough to miss the countdown. But he must not fall for it. You're too close now. Every hardship you've endured lately has been a direct reaction to what's being loosed for you. And some of the people around you, yes, even those close, have been spiritually influenced to bring chaos, because the enemy knows what will happen if you say yes in this sacred window. That's why arguments erupted. That's why your energy drained. That's why your mind spiraled out. It wasn't weakness. It was warfare. But the enemy didn't count on one thing, that despite all of it, you would still make it to this moment. And you're still here. Reading. Receiving. Rising. Type I'm rising to get the blessing 7323. The angels are still waiting, and their wings are stirred with urgency. Michael does not shout without purpose. His presence in your life right now is a decree. We are ready, but we must be released. And the enemy knows it. He knows that one word from you, one shift of obedience, will cause every demonic assignment to dissolve like smoke. That's why he's trying to keep you paralyzed. But Michael says, this is the hour where hesitation must die. You do not need all the answers. You just need to say yes. The blessing will do the rest. Some of you have even felt like giving up entirely. Not just on the blessing, but on your calling, on your life, on your worth. The enemy whispered that nothing would change, that you'd always be stuck. But that was a lie sent in panic, because he knows your name has been spoken in heaven, and he fears what will happen when your spirit connects with divine instruction. What he fears most is not just your breakthrough, it's what you'll carry once you walk in it. Because you won't be blessed alone. You will bless others. You will break chains for your bloodline. Type I am chosen to get blessing 8866. This is why Archangel Michael had to issue the command himself. To situate every spiritual urgency. And when heaven moves with urgency, it's never out of chaos, it's out of divine justice. God has seen what the enemy did to you. He has counted your tears. He has marked the times you stayed faithful when others walked away. And now, the tables are turning. But God will not override your free will. That's why the angels are waiting. You must invite the shift. You must speak the activation. You must decide to partner with the supernatural. Right now, you are being pulled in two directions. One is the familiar, the path of delay, fear, doubt, and passive waiting. The other is radical obedience, uncomfortable surrender, and unshakable trust. But only one of those paths leads to the blessing that's waiting with your name on it. You don't have to fight anymore. The angels are already assigned to that. But you do have to agree. Heaven won't force you, but it is clearly beckoning you. And Michael is holding open the final hours to make sure you don't miss the moment. There's still time, but not much. The darkness is growing nervous. That's why confusion has increased. That's why familiar temptations came back. That's why your vision felt clouded. But the light is breaking through now. The command from Michael is vibrating in your spirit. You feel it. You know it. And you can sense this is more than just words. It's a divine moment. Don't hesitate. The angels are watching. The heavens are holding space. And all of creation is waiting for your response. Type I receive it to get blessing 6127. There is a spiritual door standing in front of you right now. Not a metaphor. Not a symbol. A real spiritual threshold, marked by heaven, guarded by angels, and destined for your crossing. But that door will not swing open by emotion. It will not open by good intentions. It opens when your spirit moves into active agreement. Your response is the key. Not a physical one, but a spiritual ignition that tells heaven, I'm ready. You don't need to figure out the details. You only need to act. Because the angels are already positioned to open the way. Every blessing, every divine promise, every holy instruction, it is behind that door. This is why your life has felt like it's been held back, why you've been stuck at the edge of breakthrough. You were not being denied, you were being brought into alignment. Because heaven does not want to give you temporary relief. It wants to grant you permanent transformation. And that transformation begins when you insert the key of obedience. Right now, Archangel Michael is watching. The angelic guard assigned to your destiny is watching. But they cannot move until you respond. You've heard the phrase before, knock, and the door shall be opened. But this isn't about knocking. It's about activating. Because this door already knows who you are. It's been sealed for you, not someone else. It won't open for another person. It responds to your voice, your agreement, your surrender. That's why nothing else has worked. That's why imitating someone else's breakthrough didn't produce the same result. Because your door, your angels, your blessing are tied to your unique spiritual code. And the code is simple. Respond to this divine instruction right now. Type I am rising to get the blessing 7433. Some of you have been standing in front of this door for years and didn't even know it. You mistook the delay for denial. You believed the lie that heaven forgot you. But Michael says, heaven has not forgotten your name, it has reserved your moment. This moment. Right here. Right now. The countdown isn't a threat. It's an invitation. And while the enemy would love for you to think you have endless time, heaven is revealing that the access window is limited. What is available in this moment may not be available tomorrow. That's not to scare you. It's to remind you of the spiritual principle that governs timing. Divine doors open in divine hours. And you are in one right now. This hour has been prophesied over your life since before you were born. Your ancestors may have prayed for you to reach this season. And now, it's happening. The angels are not confused. They are not waiting because of indecision. They are still because of divine order. They only move when they are released. And your yes is the release. Will you offer it? Type I am chosen to get blessing 8755. When you respond, you're not just receiving something, you're unlocking something that was spiritually stored for generations. Think of that. Heaven has kept watch over blessings that were meant to flow down your bloodline but were blocked by sin, trauma, silence, or spiritual ignorance. But now, in you, the reversal is possible. In you, the pattern can be broken. In you, the locked door can finally be opened. Michael has drawn his sword not to threaten, but to guard the path that leads to your inheritance. And right now, the only thing missing is your agreement. The enemy will try to tell you it's not that serious, that you're just reading a message. But deep inside, your soul knows better. This isn't like the others. This one is vibrating in your spirit. Because this one is your appointment. The scroll is open. The angels are poised. The door is in front of you. Don't delay. Don't overthink it. Step forward in faith. Even if you don't understand everything, understand this. Heaven is waiting on you. You don't need to perform a ritual. You don't need to impress God. You just need to respond with sincerity. The angels understand obedience. They recognize surrender. They act when your heart is aligned. That's why your spiritual posture matters. If you're tired, come anyway. If you're afraid, come anyway. If you're unsure, come anyway. Because your response has never been about your feelings. It's about your faith. And your faith is the one thing the enemy can't counterfeit. That's why it holds such power. Use it now. Speak now. Move now. And watch what opens. Type I receive it to get blessing 6244. In the courts of heaven, scrolls are written with exact precision. They contain the details of your calling, your divine inheritance, your spiritual identity. These scrolls are not decorative. They are living documents, encoded with holy purpose, and one of them carries your name. It has recently been dispatched by angelic hands, passed from the throne to Archangel Michael, then placed into the hands of the angels assigned to your destiny. But here is the holy truth. The seal cannot be broken by angels. It can only be broken by you, by your spirit saying yes to the instruction at this appointed hour. This scroll contains more than promises. It holds divine strategies. It reveals what must be removed from your path, what relationships must shift, what altars must be broken, and what generational blessings must finally be released. It is the manual for your next chapter, but it has remained sealed, not because you weren't worthy, but because the timing wasn't right. Until now, Michael's voice had declared the scroll ready. The angels are in position. Heaven has signed off, but the spiritual law is clear. Only your obedience breaks the seal. If you knew what was waiting behind that seal, you wouldn't hesitate. Inside it is the financial breakthrough that has eluded you, not through lack of effort, but because the instruction tied to it was waiting to be unlocked. Inside it is healing. Healing from things even your doctors have been confused about. Inside it is clarity about your purpose, your connections, your future. But the enemy has tried to keep you too distracted to reach this moment. Why? Because he knows that if you break the seal, you will step into a realm where his influence can no longer follow. Type I am rising to get the blessing 7466. Think about the weight of this truth. The angels are not holding back the scroll because of sin, imperfection, or spiritual punishment. They are holding it in honor, because God respects your will so deeply that he will not force open what requires your agreement. That is how powerful you are, and that is how sacred this moment is. The scroll is vibrating with anticipation. The angels are watching with intensity. The seal is trembling under the pressure of your decision. Heaven is leaning in, waiting to see what your soul will declare. Some of you have already sensed this scroll in dreams or visions. You've seen glimpses, brief flashes of what your future could be. Or you felt strange moments of overwhelming emotion, as if something holy was trying to reach you. That was no accident. That was the scroll drawing near. That was your spirit touching something eternal. And now, the invitation is here, not to imagine the scroll, but to open it, to activate it, to live it. But it begins with a response. Type I am chosen to get blessing 8170. God is not calling you to strive. He is calling you to surrender. Breaking the seal doesn't require strength. It requires stillness. A simple moment of recognition. A sacred yes from your spirit. That is what gives the angels the command to break the wax of heaven's decree and begin pouring out what was written before time. Imagine a river of answered prayers, divine guidance, supernatural protection, and generational redemption all stored in that scroll, and then realize it is yours. But only if you respond now, in this hour, not next week, not next season. Now, there is a countdown over this scroll because the assignments inside are time-sensitive. Certain people must enter your life soon. Certain resources must be directed now. Certain protection must be activated quickly. If the scroll remains sealed, the timeline suffers. But if you respond, heaven will accelerate. What would have taken years will be compressed into weeks. What was delayed will be restored. and what you thought was grim will be resurrected. The scroll does not wait for convenience. It waits for agreement. And your agreement will trigger angelic motion. Michael stands with you in this moment, not only as a messenger, but as a witness. He has stood at the threshold of this moment for months, guarding the scroll and commanding angelic ranks around it. But now his sword is pointed downward, resting against the ground. This is not the time for battle. It is the time for release. But even he, as powerful as he is, cannot move forward without your decision. The blessing, the scroll, the angels, all are ready. The question is, are you? Do not let fear paralyze you. Do not let unworthiness silence you. You are not chosen because you're perfect. You are chosen because you are willing. And heaven is watching for the response only you can give. The seal waits. The scroll is yours. Break it open with your faith. Declare your yes. And the angels will begin the release. If this word has touched your spirit and stirred a fresh sense of boldness within, we invite you to respond with a super thanks of $20. Your support allows us to continue offering prophetic insight, comfort, and strength to those navigating the journey from betrayal to breakthrough. You can also give through PayPal by clicking the Support Here link in the video description. Every gift, no matter the size, helps us reach more hearts with messages of hope, truth, and encouragement. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you stay connected to spirit-led direction, timely revelation, and words of life designed to uplift you in every season. Type I receive it to get blessing 6335. There is a spiritual gate in front of you, not visible to the human eye, but very real in the heavenly dimension. That gate has been locked for a long time, not because God was keeping something from you, but because the divine security system only allows one access code, spiritual response. And now, after much preparation in the heavens, the angels assigned to your destiny have been stationed at the gate. They are not there to block you. They are there to escort you through, but only if your response reaches them in time. Breakthrough is not just a moment, it is a movement. And your movement is what the angels are waiting for. Archangel Michael has drawn a line in the spirit. A final decree has been issued. You are not just close, you are at the gate. And every spiritual resource, every promise, every provision that had been hovering in delay is now lined up behind that gate. Your breakthrough has been waiting for you, not the other way around. But spiritual protocol says this: the gate does not open by force. It opens by obedience. And the clock is ticking. There are only 3 hours left. Not to rush you, but to wake you. Because the longer you delay, the further the spiritual gate drifts from alignment with your life. This moment was crafted by divine intelligence. All timelines, angelic forces, and prophetic declarations have collided here. This is not a coincidence. This is a covenant moment. Michael is not repeating himself, and heaven is not begging. But this gate will not remain open indefinitely. You must speak, act, and respond before it closes again, and with it, the blessings you were born to carry forward. Type I'm rising to get the blessing 7590. The angels stationed at the gate have not been idle. They've been preparing your path. They've already moved some people out of your way. They've stirred hearts to favor you, nudged closed doors to begin unlocking, and softened hard hearts that were once resistant to reconciliation. You don't even know how much has been happening on your behalf in the spiritual world. But the moment of crossing is now. That's why you felt unsettled. That's why sleep has escaped you. That's why random interruptions have tried to hijack your focus. Because the enemy senses what's about to be released. This gate is unlike any other you've encountered before. It is not simply a gate of personal blessing. It is a gate of generational shift. This is the turning point that future descendants will thank you for. Because if you cross this gate in the spirit, you will alter the course of your bloodline. The curses that plague your parents will break. The patterns that trapped your relationships will dissolve. The invisible ceilings that limited your finances will crack wide open. The spiritual warfare that once drained your strength will begin to submit to your authority. But you must say yes now. Type I am chosen to get blessing 8802. Think of how long you've waited. How many times you almost gave up. How close you came to believing it would never happen. And yet, here you are, faced with the final step before crossing. Do not allow fear, distraction, or pride to rob you of this divine access. The angels are not unsure. The gate is not stuck. Heaven has already prepared your welcome on the other side. But your yes is the last sound the gate is waiting for. It's the final sound that triggers the locks to disengage and the path to unfold. Michael is not standing at the gate in silence. He is interceding. His voice thunders through the dimensions. He is shouting on your behalf. Not in anger, but in holy urgency. Respond now. Rise now. The heavens are aligned. And every time you hesitate, the angels look toward your heart. They do not judge. They wait. And they wait with compassion. But time is not theirs to control. It is yours. And the command has already been issued. It is your spirit's agreement that completes the circuit of breakthrough. This is a divine transaction, one you do not purchase with effort or perfection, but with faith. The currency of heaven has always been surrender, and when you give it freely, angels move swiftly. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. You will begin to see evidence immediately, small shifts at first, then sudden waves of blessing that confirm the gate has opened. And when it does, no force in hell will be able to shut it again. This is your gate. This is your hour. The angels are stationed. The seal is broken. The scroll is open. And now, what will your spirit do? Type I receive it to get blessing 6418. There is a backlog of blessings that have been waiting for you, not because you were disqualified, but because the spiritual environment had not yet reached full agreement. These blessings are not lost. They are not forgotten. They are being stored in the vaults of heaven, sealed with your name, waiting for the hour of release. That hour is now. But heaven's justice system demands that blessings only descend when obedience hath been activated. The angels standing at the gates are ready to release them. But they must receive your spiritual signal before they are allowed to move. Your response doesn't need to be complex. It needs to be true. That simple act of saying I receive, that holy declaration of I surrender, causes a shaking in the heavenly places. It causes chains of delay to be shattered. What once seemed like lost time is suddenly redeemed. What you thought had passed you by is now turning back toward you. But this return isn't random. It's because your agreement gives heaven permission to break the cycle. Blade blessings don't come by default. They come by divine authorization. And your voice holds that authorization now. Imagine years' worth of prayers, tears, and seeds suddenly reactivating in this very moment. That's what's happening in the spiritual realm. It's not wishful thinking, it's divine fulfillment. The angels are already retrieving what has been waiting. Contracts in your favor. Emails about to be sent. People's hearts being stirred to bless you. Opportunities aligning in the shadows. But this spiritual machinery will only fully engage when your soul issues the response heaven has waited for. You are not waiting on God anymore. Heaven is waiting on you. Type I am rising to get the blessing 7711. Some of you have believed that it was too late. That maybe you missed your moment months or years ago. But Archangel Michael says, no moment is lost in eternity. It is preserved until obedience recovers it. What you thought was wasted time has been secretly stored. And now, because of this divine command, you have the rare opportunity to reclaim it. Not just spiritually, but physically. Things you didn't get. People who left. Dreams that died. All of them are connected to the delayed blessing you are about to activate. Your family's peace is tied to it. Your financial overflow is tied to it. The clarity you've been begging God for, it's tied to it. But until now, it was out of reach. Not because God was teasing you, but because spiritual laws cannot be bypassed. But now those laws are leaning in your favor. Why? Because your heart is softening. Your eyes are opening. Your soul is awakening. And heaven knows when you are truly ready. The countdown is not to pressure you, it's to alert you. You're finally in position to receive what was always meant to be yours. Type I am chosen to get blessing 8844. You don't need to fight for it. You don't need to plead for it. You just need to come into agreement. The angels already have instructions. Michael has already drawn the line. The scroll has already been unsealed. The vault has already been unlocked. But it takes one last command, your yes, to release it into the earth. That is the divine order. That is the spiritual system. That is how heaven honors you. It will not override you, even to bless you. But the moment you respond, all of creation joins in response with you. This isn't just about one blessing. This is about a wave of restoration. Your obedience now is the trigger. Like water pressing behind a dam, everything is building. Every promise, every prophetic word spoken over you, every dream you wrote down and forgot, all of it is lined up behind this moment. And your yes is the crack in the wall. Once it opens, the flow cannot be stopped. The flood of favor will come quickly. But only if the angels hear your spirit respond in time. There is an urgency, not because heaven is in lack, but because your moment is ripe. Blessings that once passed you are now circling back. Opportunities that once closed are about to knock again. But there is no guarantee they will wait long. This is not a threat. It is a law of divine momentum. You are being invited to step into it now, to stop delaying what has already been paid for in the Spirit. Heaven has positioned everything. All that's left is your obedience. Speak now. Move now. Type it, declare it, whisper it, but don't let this moment pass you without a response. Type I receive it to get blessing 6582. There are moments in your life when the pain becomes so loud, you begin to believe that maybe it's permanent. That maybe the struggle is just a part of your identity now. But heaven is saying, no more. This is the hour of divine exchange. Archangel Michael is standing at the edge of your situation, declaring that the suffering you've endured, the tears you've cried, and the betrayals you've absorbed have reached a spiritual tipping point. And now, the courts of heaven are ready to trade your pain for power, your wounds for wisdom, and your history for heavenly inheritance. The angels are not weeping over your brokenness. They are standing ready to redeem it. Nothing you've gone through is going to be wasted. That's why this moment matters. The divine exchange can only happen when the transaction is complete. And the final step of that transaction is not heaven's, it's yours. You must respond. You must come to the altar of divine surrender and say, take it all. Give me what is mine. This is not about denial of pain. It's about transferring its weight to the one who has already paid the price for your healing. Everything that hurt you will now be handed back to you with divine purpose. The same experiences that once drained your energy will now fuel your destiny. The enemy thought he had you trapped in trauma, but heaven was building a testimony. The testimony is being armed with power in this very hour. The angels who watched you cry are now assigned to bring comfort. The angels who guarded you in heartbreak are now bringing recompense. But all of it waits on your response. Only your obedience can trigger the exchange from pain to purpose. Type I am rising to get the blessing 7866. You were never meant to carry the weight alone. You were never expected to solve everything with your own strength. Heaven has always been positioned to intervene. But God, in His divine love, never forces help. He waits for agreement. He waits for your voice to say, "Enough. I want the exchange." And when you do, the angels begin to move with precision. They carry healing oil for your body, for your heart, and for your mind. They do not come to treat your symptoms. They come to reverse the spiritual decay that's been trying to consume your destiny. Your trauma does not disqualify you. It qualifies you for greater glory. Some of the most powerful people in the kingdom carry the deepest scars, not because they are cursed, but because they are chosen. The weight you've been under was not to crush you. It was heaven's way of refining you. And now that the refining is complete, the blessings are ready. The blessings are heavy, and that's why your trials were too. God was preparing your shoulders to carry what others could not. But now, your time of suffering must be exchanged for supernatural stability. Type I am chosen to get blessing 8712. You will no longer walk through life with open wounds. You will walk with open gates. You will not be stuck in memories of the past. You will be fueled by vision for the future. But this will not happen automatically. This is a divine trade. You must release what's in your hands to receive what's in God's. And what He has for you is so much better. The pain was real, but the blessing will be greater. The betrayal cut deep, but the favor will overflow. The silence felt endless, but now the angels are singing again. The shift has begun. This isn't emotional hype. This is divine strategy. Heaven has orchestrated this moment for you to step into the greatest reversal of your life. And the reason the enemy has fought you so hard recently is because he sensed the trade was coming. He knew that the more you leaned into this moment, the closer you'd get to receiving double for every tear. That's not a metaphor. That's a biblical law. And Archangel Michael is here to make sure the transaction is enforced. But even he cannot move until your surrender is complete. Do not hold on to your pain any longer. You've tried to manage it. You've tried to numb it. You've tried to ignore it. But now, heaven is offering you something greater. In this sacred hour, you are being invited to a throne room transaction. Come with your burden and leave with your blessing. Come with your exhaustion and leave with your elevation. The divine exchange is here. The angels are holding what belongs to you, but they are waiting for the moment your spirit lets go of the old and takes hold of the new. This is it. Respond now. If this word has touched your spirit and stirred a fresh sense of boldness within, we invite you to respond with a super thanks of $20. Your support allows us to continue offering prophetic insight, comfort, and strength to those navigating the journey from betrayal to breakthrough. You can also give through PayPal by clicking the support here link in the video description. Every gift, no matter the size, helps us reach more hearts with messages of hope, truth, and encouragement. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you stay connected to Spirit-led direction, timely revelation, and words of life designed to uplift you in every season. Type I receive it to get blessing 6633. The clock in the spirit realm is not set by the sun, nor by human hands. It is synchronized with divine intention, prophetic appointments, and angelic movement. Right now, that heavenly clock is ticking, and it is echoing in the atmosphere with increasing urgency. There are only 3 hours left to come into full alignment. This is not just any alignment. This is the final alignment for this particular breakthrough. The countdown is not meant to scare you. It is to alert you to how close you are to a door that will not stay open forever. Archangel Michael is not issuing a casual message. He is delivering a final alert. The spiritual sequence is now active. The scroll has been dispatched. The angels are stationed. The gate is partially opened, and the delayed blessings are queued. But the alignment still lacks one final piece: your voice. Heaven will never force your participation. It will honor your will. But time is no longer on delay. This is the hour when either full spiritual alignment will take place, where this specific blessing will pause again for another unknown season. And heaven does not want that for you. You have already come so far. You've made it through storms others couldn't survive. You've overcome what tried to destroy you. You stood when you had every reason to collapse. And now, heaven is saying, you are finally ready. But readiness means nothing without response. You must lock into this alignment fully. This means saying yes with your whole being. Not just mentally, not just emotionally, but spiritually, down to the core of who you are. It is your alignment that will pull this miracle out of the spirit realm and into physical reality. Type I am rising to get the blessing 7940. Divine alignment is not about striving. It is about surrender. It is about tuning your frequency to match what heaven is already broadcasting. And heaven is saying right now, the time is now. The door is open. The gate is set. The angels are ready. But will your heart be found in the right position when the final hour strikes? Or will the opportunity pass again? This isn't meant to bring fear. It's meant to bring clarity. Because the only thing left to do is to agree. The moment your soul aligns, the final key is turned. Some people spend years asking God for a sign. They beg for confirmation. They wait for more dreams. But you don't need another confirmation. This is it. The urgency you feel is real. The clock is not symbolic. The breakthrough is not hypothetical. You are not imagining things. You are standing at the very edge of fulfillment. One more step, one more act of obedience, one more yes, and the spiritual alignment will be complete. The angels will be released. The scroll will be delivered. And your life will shift in a way that nothing can reverse. Type I am chosen to get blessing 8881. Divine alignment means more than just receiving. It means transformation. It means that what you say, what you believe, how you act, and how you move are all in agreement with the heavenly blueprint. And right now, that blueprint is hovering in front of your spirit. Michael's voice is anchoring it. The angelic host is defending it. And God is watching for your full consent. Your obedience will signal that the alignment is finished, that the heavenly systems can proceed, that the release can be issued in full. Don't delay. You are seconds from overflow. And when this alignment happens, you will notice a peace you haven't felt in years. Decisions that once confused you will suddenly become clear. Relationships that once drained you will exit your life quietly. Finances that once were stuck will begin to flow. Ideas that once seemed impossible will receive open doors. Why? Because alignment brings acceleration, and acceleration only happens when the spiritual pieces lock into place. You are not just praying anymore. You are participating. And your participation is completing the circle heaven had been building for years. The ticking clock is not a threat. It is a trumpet. It is sounding in your ears and in your soul to awaken you to the urgency of now. Time will not wait. Angels will not override divine order. And you were never meant to live in spiritual limbo. This is your moment to say yes completely, to open the gate with your words, to receive the long-awaited blessing, to take your seat at the table heaven has prepared for you since the beginning of your existence. This is the final alignment. Everything has been arranged. Now say yes. Type I receive it to get blessing 6777. Heaven never releases just one thing. When you respond in divine obedience, the blessing that comes isn't isolated. It initiates a chain reaction. One open gate leads to another. One angelic assignment activates the next. One breakthrough becomes the catalyst for everything else that has been locked up in the spirit. Archangel Michael is declaring this with fire in his voice. Your response will not just change one situation. It will transform everything. The angelic realm is waiting, not to deliver a single promise, but to trigger the floodgates. Your yes activates more than you can imagine. You have been looking for a single answer. You've been focused on one area, maybe your finances, maybe a relationship, maybe your health. But heaven sees the entire blueprint. And when you obey in this moment, the blessing that is released will multiply across areas you thought were unrelated. Because in God's realm, there is no such thing as a disconnected blessing. One act of alignment touches every corner of your life. That's why this is not just a breakthrough moment. It's a reordering of your entire reality. And it all starts with your response. Michael isn't standing over your life because of a small shift. He's been dispatched to your destiny because the chain reaction about to be released is historic. You are walking into something your ancestors couldn't. You are stepping into a realm of favor your lineage was denied. And now, the spiritual atmosphere around you is vibrating. The angels are stirred. The blessing vaults are opening. But the law of heaven still stands. You must agree. The key is in your mouth. The access code is in your faith. The countdown is winding down. And the flood is waiting to be triggered. Type I am rising to get the blessing 7644. You felt the tension in the atmosphere lately. The petty, the unknown heaviness. That was not depression. It was spiritual compression. Because the blessing was trying to burst forth, but your response hadn't yet come. Now that you are receiving this message, you're being handed the trigger. And when you release it, the shift will be violent, in a good way. You'll feel sudden clarity, accelerated momentum. Peace will invade places that had been tormented for years. Conversations you've needed for years will suddenly happen. Payments that were stuck will suddenly be released. This blessing isn't normal. It's generational. It's the type of shift that makes others look at your life and ask, what happened? And you'll only be able to say, God happened. But the chain begins when you say yes now. Not tomorrow. Not when it's comfortable. But now. The angels are holding scrolls like dominoes, waiting for your obedience to push the first one so that the rest can fall into place. This is divine sequence. This is spiritual architecture. Heaven is not random. And your yes fits perfectly into the master design. Type I'm chosen to get blessing 8933. Even things you forgot you prayed for will begin to surface once this chain is activated. That's how deep the backlog is. That's how much hath been stored. You're not just about to receive, you're about to inherit. Inheritance is not about asking. It's about being aligned as the rightful heir. And right now, heaven sees you as ready. Archangel Michael has made it clear. The inheritance cannot move forward until the spiritual recipient says, I accept. Your acceptance is not a formality. It is a spiritual ignition. And once it happens, the angels won't delay another moment. The beauty of this chain reaction is that it doesn't just affect you. It will flow into your children, into your siblings, into your work, into your neighborhood. Heaven is about to change an entire environment through your one moment of surrender. This is the power of alignment. This is the force of your faith. And this is why the enemy fought you so hard to ignore this moment. Because he knew the impact of one obedient yes. What he's failed. Because here you are, standing at the center of the most sacred choice of your life. Heaven has already said yes. The angels have already prepared the scrolls. Michael has already released the decree. The only response still missing is yours. And when you give it, you'll feel the ripple immediately. Doors will open. Dreams will return. Strength will be restored. And the chain will begin. One miracle after another. One answered prayer logging another. This is not just your time. It is your turn. Say yes. Trigger the chain. And let the angels release what had been waiting for far too long. Type I receive it to get blessing 6892. There is a divine truth that many overlook. Angels are powerful, but they will never override your authority. You, as a child of God, carry the unique responsibility and privilege of co-laboring with heaven. The angels can prepare, protect, deliver, and guard, but they cannot move ahead of your surrender. This is why they are waiting, not because they lack power, but because they honor yours. Archangel Michael, the warrior of heaven, has declared this over your life today. We are assigned to act, but the command must come from their response. Heaven is a realm of order, and that order recognizes the power of free will. Your spiritual alignment isn't just a matter of worthiness. It's a matter of will. God has given you dominion, and your response, your act of obedience, your decision to open your spirit, your verbal agreement, acts like a legal signature in the spiritual courts. Once you give it, the angelic forces are cleared to act. They are released. They descend. But if you remain in silence, even heaven will wait. Not in punishment, but in honor. Because your soul was never created to be forced. It was made to choose. Do you realize the power you carry right now? The hosts of heaven are literally standing still on your behalf. Not because they are confused, but because your authority is that sacred. God trusts you enough to allow you to say when the blessing should be triggered. That's why you feel the urgency right now. That's why this message found you. Because the 3-hour window is a final mercy, a divine nudge to let you know that everything is in place, but your movement is required to finalize the sequence. Type I'm rising to get the blessing 7744. Even the greatest blessings can remain dormant if not activated by obedience. Think of that. What you've been praying for may already exist in full, but still be inaccessible until your yes seals it. And that's what Archangel Michael wants you to understand in this hour. He has been assigned to enforce divine timing, but his sword only swings when your voice is heard. Your tears are powerful. Your prayers are sacred. But your agreement is the spiritual catalyst that turns potential into fulfillment. Some of you have felt like God hath been distant. But the truth is, He has never been closer. He's been silently preparing this moment. The angels have been positioning themselves, ensuring every detail is ready. And now, heaven's attention is focused entirely on you. Not because you've earned it, but because you were chosen for it. You are the one. You are the pivot point. You are the final activation key. No one can speak your yes for you. No one can release your scroll. You have the voice heaven is listening for. Type I'm chosen to get blessing 8820. If you hesitate, the angels will remain near. They will not leave you, but they will not move until the authority within you moves first. That's why your spirit is stirred right now. It's why your skin feels like it's buzzing. It's why tears might be forming in your eyes. Because this is not emotional hype, it's divine resonance. Your soul is recognizing the sacred opportunity in front of you. And now everything is waiting on one thing, your choice. Don't let fear steal your authority. Don't let delay rob your inheritance. The angels are armed. The gates are aligned. The scroll is open. And the final step is yours. Heaven is watching, not to punish but to bless. But that blessing cannot override your voice. Speak. Type. Declare. Make your movement. Because the moment you do, the angels will descend. The blessings will explode. And what's been delayed for years will suddenly come with unstoppable speed. You don't need to do this alone. Heaven is offering full support. But support only follows surrender. The most powerful shift of your life is being held in place, waiting to hear your obedience. That is how highly you are regarded in the Spirit. And that's why this message was sent directly to you. It is time. The final 3 hours are here. Heaven is silent, poised, holding its breath. But not in fear, in expectation. Because your yes is coming. And once it comes, the angels will rush to release what have been waiting for too long. Type I receive it to get blessing 6939. You've reached the edge of the assignment. Not the edge of your life, but the edge of an old season. One that has carried too much delay, too much pain, and too much silent waiting. And now, heaven has drawn back the veil to show you the truth. Your life has been poised for a miracle the entire time. The angelic activity around you has not been random. Every war, every delay, every confirmation, every divine message, it has all led to this one instruction. This one moment of choice. This one sacred countdown. And now, the final hour is nearly here. Archangel Michael did not cry out to get your attention for no reason. The heavens do not move unless the time is critical. And what they are waiting on is no longer divine paperwork. It is no longer alignment on heaven's side. It is one thing. Your voice. Your surrender. Your decision to say, I will not miss this moment. Because everything has been aligned for this hour. Not next week. Not next year. This hour. And that is why you were commanded to open this message. Because you are not just about to be blessed. You are about to be repositioned forever. The angels are not passive. They are standing in attention. Scrolls are unsealed. Gates are glowing. The pathway is already illuminated before you. But it all waits. It waits for one thing. Your yes. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be loud. It just has to be real. The second your spirit says yes, the response from heaven will be faster than lightning. And once it moves, there is no reversing it. The chains will shatter. The doors will open. The shift will begin. And nothing will ever be the same again. This message was not just a prophecy. It was an activation. You are the one. You are ready. And the angels are watching, with wings stretched wide, waiting for your signal. Respond, child of God. Say yes. You receive the movement that was written in your destiny before the foundation of the earth. If this word has touched your spirit and stirred a fresh sense of boldness within, we invite you to respond with a super thanks of $20. Your support allows us to continue offering prophetic insight, comfort, and strength to those navigating the journey from betrayal to breakthrough. You can also give through PayPal by clicking the support here link in the video description. Every gift, no matter the size, helps us reach more hearts with messages of hope, truth, and encouragement. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you stay connected to spirit-led direction, timely revelation, and words of life designed to uplift you in every season. Type I say yes to get blessing 7,000.